Well, winter is just losing its grip in Europe. Ibiza is already enjoying cloudless days, warm evenings, and it's the start of the holiday season. It's also the start of the marathon season, and where better to put the winter training to test? The azure seas, the perfect temperatures from sunrise to sunset, scenery that has to be seen to be believed, and there's so much space. For many runners, this is paradise. Well, welcome to the Ibiza Marathon for 2023. Well, a lot of familiar faces have been working around the clock to get this event prepared, welcoming the elite athletes, thousands of international runners, and all the families and supporters that have had no hesitation signing up for this event. Many come for a week. Not so many fly in the day before the race. The elite athletes, well looked after, as always.
Sexta edición, consolidando la
Francisco
carrera,
Larre is the race director, and he's looking relaxed, which is always a good sign. He says this is the 6th edition. We're really consolidating the event, increasing the number of runners from all over the world. And as you know, Ibiza, very, very popular. It's a sought-after destination, especially now that the season is starting in April. So let's say it's a reference point, a significant part of the tourist season and a significant part of the sporting season. We're expecting more than 8,000 visitors to the island. 3 distances to race: the marathon, of course, the 22K and the 12-kilometre distance, which is hugely popular. Well, it's a new season, new kit, new running shoes. Amongst the elite, we've got William Chebois. Alex Lagat is there as well. Monica Charuto also, those 3 all running the marathon. Chebois aiming high this year, and certainly the favourite among the men's field.
So I'm expecting tomorrow to break this course record of Ibiza Marathon, which was last year was 2:14. So at God's willing, I will lower that time in 2 hours 13:50. So that is my expectation for tomorrow's Ibiza Marathon.
And that's not far off his PB, so it's going to have to be perfect conditions if he's going to achieve that. Well, the registration, always a big part of any marathon, getting the race numbers, the food vouchers, the goodie bags, and of course buying those last-minute essentials. Plenty of locals, good contingent of Spaniards, but a really impressive number of international runners, and a staggering 44-45% of the field are female. And that's something that the organisers have been working on.
We are from Poland. We are here because we heard that it's an amazing marathon, so we would like to experience to run in Spain.
Right now in Poland it's a winter, and we're expecting a great weather. And we already have. The second thing, we expect beautiful landscapes during the marathon, half marathon. And third, have a good time.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's such a community thing, running a race. It brings everybody together. I think it's fantastic. So I love the island. I've been here for 10 years. I call it home now. It's such a beautiful place with a really nice community, and that's what I love the most. The community is incredible. The people are welcoming and warm. It's my favourite place to be.
Yeah, it's beautiful, the weather's amazing. We've done Stockholm and Paris before, and yeah, it just seemed like it's really different. It's hilly, so it's a bit of a challenge. And yeah, the bay finish looks amazing. Yeah, can't wait, really excited.
Why Ibiza? Because weather is better than in Belgium. I chose Ibiza because I became 50 this year. Yeah.
And that's the reason why we are here.
Yeah. And at 50 life starts.
Yeah.
We go to party and we go to run.
First run and then party.
Well, not a bad word to be heard, and everyone expecting a good time as well as a tough time out on the race course. The briefing's so important, with 3 events all starting in different places, all trying to finish as the sun sets across the bay. The elites and the influencers all being given a good explanation as to how it's going to work.
Pues mira, vengo con muchas ganas porque a pesar del año pasado haber vivido parte de la carrera que vamos a hacer mañana,
really looking forward to it. Only managed a bit of the course last year, but despite that, she's happy to be back. She loves running in the warm weather. She says with the sun, the sea, the good weather, the race just seems that much shorter. And she loves the fact that there are so many women running this year. That's a project that she's supported over the years, and she wants more and more women to be involved as the years go on. Well, there's been a running masterclass, there's been meditation and plenty of yoga in preparation for the big day.
I'm really looking forward to it. Like, all the races in Spain have been the best races I've ever done, so I'm really looking to just like running really fast. I know I'm doing the 22K, so I know it's a little bit downhill, so I'm really looking forward to just speeding downhill and then just seeing the sea, enjoying the golden hour, the sunset, and hopefully also jumping into the water, but I haven't checked how cold it is, so I don't know, but just enjoy, just to see the people, just to be with the running community. I'm sure it will be amazing.
Unlike many marathons, it's a 3 p.m. start for the big race, and it's all about ensuring that the majority of the field come into the finish area as the sun sets. It's an ambitious plan, but it's one that so many runners are looking forward to, the golden hour as they call it.
Guarda, è la prima volta che vengo qui a Ibiza e l'isola è stupenda, veramente stupenda.
Patotto saying it's his first time here, didn't really expect the sea and the scenery to have such a massive effect on him. He's been imagining the sunset, the finish line, the party afterwards. He says, absolutely beautiful, special occasion.
Bueno, la verdad es que ya estamos con los pelos de punta porque tenemos mucha ilusión.
This is Paula and Patricia,
aquí justo a un reto juntero.
Two runners really enjoying the atmosphere here in Ibiza.
Ilusión de estos meses. Y bueno, traemos casi 25 mujeres para hacer ese reto
the build up to the event, and of course again two more runners enjoying the fact that almost half the field is female.
Estoy muy emocionado con la carrera.
Carlos Diaz is not taking part in the marathon. He's doing the 22K, which is a very fast course, predominantly downhill. Says he's really excited. He thinks there's going to be a good party afterwards, but he's looking forward to the race, knowing that it's going to be a tight one. Well, up front, we know it's going to get serious. PBs, records, jewels, some of them going for the prize money. Ultimately, everyone races their own race. Whatever your goal, the organisers want everyone to immerse themselves in the occasion. They start and finish at sea level. The high point comes just after the halfway marker.
Para mí personalmente esta carrera supone, como bien dice el eslogan de corre y siente, pues correr una carrera diferente.
For him personally, the slogan "Run and Feel," which is the race slogan, says that this is different to most races. He says it's something really unique.
Y eso es en lo que estamos ahora mismo focalizados todos, en que sea una buena temporada turística, en que las competiciones deportivas nos acaben posicionando como un destino turístico.
Saying what they're really focused on at the moment is the tourist season, and realising that sporting events are a major part of tourism nowadays. It's not just about parties on Ibiza, and he thinks that the marathon here is a really good showcase. Well, it's not long before the elite athletes start to pull clear. The Kenyans, as ever, dominating the pace up front, William Chebois looking good, going for that 2:13.50.
Mi sono preparato molto bene a casa mia.
Monica Ceruto leading the women's events, running alongside Massi Milano. And he's been preparing at home, a 50-year-old who can still run sub 2:30. Says there are some climbs definitely harder here than they are where he trains at home, but he's going to manage his strength. And he's run some 45 marathons over the last 8 years. And he's put in a fair few under that 2:30 mark, which is really impressive. Well, there's music en route, as is standard with so many marathons nowadays, traditional dancers. The views are absolutely stunning. There's plenty to distract the runners from any of the suffering that they're going through. So the marathon run is well underway. Next to start, the 22K. Now that starts at the high point of the marathon, finishes down at sea level, so predominantly downhill. And Dani Matteo is one of the big stars in this event. An Olympic runner. He's a big fan of the Run and Feel slogan as well. He's been giving talks on how to run fast, but really focusing on how to get people to enjoy their running. And he's delighted to be back for another year, and he's going to have a very, very big battle with Carlos Diaz, who's one of the best runners Chile has ever produced. Diaz with the Chilean records over 1,500 all the way up to the 21K mark. So he's looking forward to taking on Matteo again. Matteo got the better of him in the Seville Marathon, doing a 2:10.26. I think that's out of reach today. But for 22K, they're going to be looking at around the 1:10 mark.
Va a estar bastante entretenido. Creo que tenemos una competencia, creo que la más fuerte con Dani Matteo, que viene de hacer un tiempo espectacular en Sevilla.
It's going to be entertaining. Well, that's one way to put it. He says he thinks he has strong competition. He thinks Dani Matteo may just have the advantage after a brilliant run in Seville. But Seville was his debut marathon, so he's now looking forward to coming back down to a distance that he's more familiar with. We'll see how that turns out. And with the 22K started, back to the port area for the start of the 12-kilometre race. For many, the perfect distance to get their running season underway. Alyssa Malili was the winner last year, and she's back again.
El año pasado no me esperaba, sinceramente, de ganar. La disfruté muchísimo.
Says last year she didn't expect to win. She really enjoyed it. This year, it's a little bit of a change. She's going to try the 12K, see what happens. Doesn't have any objectives at the moment, but she knows that once she puts the race number on, she becomes a different beast. So she's going to go all out, and that will be certainly a race to watch, with Fedra Luna in there as well.
La primera vez acá en Ibiza me dijeron que el recorrido es un poquito bastante durito, así que principalmente disfrutar, ir viendo a medida que voy corriendo cómo se va presentando el recorrido.
She's been told that the course is tough, so she's going to be conserving some energy in the early stages. And she says if she gets the course record, fantastic. Well, that's her ambition for the day. Well, as with the previous 5 editions of the Ibiza Marathon, inclusion has been one of the main messages. The kids' races, the special needs races, it's not just a sideshow. This is a part of the race, a part of the weekend that Larey and his team genuinely get involved with. And he knows that these are the runners that will get more out of the event than anyone else. Nice touch with every single athlete wearing number 1. The same with the kids' race. Much more about just taking part. Completing the course is important, but not as important as being on the start line. Ferratore is saying she's delighted 3,200 athletes registered to run this weekend. 45%, as we've said, are women. And realizing that running is a family affair. 500 children involved in the kids' race. Well, William Chebois been setting a stiff pace. He was on track for that 2:15 early on, but the latter part of the course, I think, getting the better of the 34-year-old. Been training in E10 in Kenya. He ran a very, very good marathon there, a 2:13.50. But with no one to pace him today, many would say he has no chance of getting down to that sort of a marker.
El maratón pasa por unos paisajes maravillosos, con toda la gente que habrá animando, los grupos de animación, todo eso pues lo hará mucho más espectacular, sobre todo más llevadero para el corredor, con los grupos de música y precisamente hará que el corredor sea mucho más llevadero para afrontar.
And he's well aware that the conditions will determine exactly how well he can do. There is quite a breeze blowing, and that's certainly having an effect on the times of many of the runners. Well, Francisco Larry has done another fabulous job with the event this year, and he may be a little bit surprised that Chebois struggling in the closing stages of his run. Beautifully fluent runner. So many of the Kenyan runners from the Kalenjin tribe, where they have, well, very, very lightweight, thin calves, thin ankles, the perfect pendulums for setting the pace they do.
La parte de participación femenina, como hablábamos, ha sido uno de los ejes que hemos querido trabajar este año. Es la prueba con más participación
Larry
femenina
commenting on the number of women competing, saying that's something that they've been working on particularly this year, and he's delighted to say that no other race in Spain has achieved the levels of participation that they have this year, and he thanks the many influencers that they used in previous years to promote this event. But it's not too difficult to sell a week in Ibiza. Chebois going through Escanar. There's another big climb. Next 2.5 kilometers is uphill, and that's certainly putting pay to any chances of reaching sub 2:14. Sharuto, well, she runs the marathon at pretty much the same pace as she runs the half marathon.
Bueno, es la tercera vez ya que corro maratón de Ibiza, un circuito que me gusta, que le tengo cariño. Ahora hace ya unos años que no venía, así que lo
says this is the third time that he's run here in Ibiza. It's a circuit he really likes, very fond of it. It's been a few years since he's been back, but he's looking forward to running, and he'd encourage everyone to come and run the Ibiza Marathon just because it's different from other marathons. He says here you come to disconnect and enjoy a weekend on the island. Sharuto on her own for 99% of the race. Struggling a little bit in the closing stages. The battle between Danny Matteo.
Penso che la maratona di Ibiza sia un'esperienza unica, una delle poche maratone
the marathon here is a really unique experience.
Sole,
One of the few marathons where you can find tourism, sun, pleasure, fun all at the same time.
Abbiamo visto prima la conferenza Dani Matteo che ci spiegava
and he thinks it's a perfect location for the Italian runners to take part in the early part of their running season.
Amatori italiani ma anche internazionali.
Carlos Diaz starting to struggle as Dani Matteo turns up the pace. Matteo has the Spanish hour record, an astonishing 20.5 kilometers in the hour. Even more astonishing that Kipchoge did that twice to break the 2-hour mark in the marathon in Vienna. Many know that's just a dream. Doesn't matter what the distance, always a pleasure to approach the finish, and Santa Eulària
Pues mira, yo creo que es Ibiza, Run and Feel, esta carrera es
optimism of everyone here, the vitality, and just feels that the light plays such a huge part in this race.
Con el calorcito, como digo, y todo eso fluye en las carreras de Ibiza.
Because unlike so many marathons, it's run late in the afternoon.
Al final es deporte, pero también es turismo y es una manera de desconectar y de disfrutar de
nothing better than training and running in the warmth.
Del deporte cuando corremos y también disfrutar de
and it's a fantastic way to discover an island. So don't just go for the race, go for the whole experience. Well, it's not long before Chebois is into the town of Santa Eulària and approaching the finish line. His PB of 2:13.20 long gone. A 2:21.15 indicating just how tough the conditions are today. But another wonderful run from him. Legat in second place. Man who's capable of a 1:04 half marathon, and Massi Milano at 50, notching up another top 3, just outside his 2:30 mark, but another brilliant run from the Italian. Shiruto, like many, outside her PB today, but another fantastic solo run from her, a 2:48.08. And she made it look easy. Well, Dani Matteo getting the win in the 22K, a 1:09.41, almost a minute and a half inside his previous record. Carlos Diaz just 4 seconds behind. That was the race of the day. A good race is a close race, and that's the one you remember. And it feels even better when you get the course record, as Matteo did in Ibiza. Guirado winning the men's 12K in 40 minutes 10 seconds, and Fedra Luna, she said she wanted the record, she got it. Unbelievable performance, 42.36, only just outside the top 2 in the men's event. She would have finished 3rd in that men's event. So another brilliant marathon in Ibiza in 2023, the 6th edition of the event. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The smiles are getting wider from all the athletes.
Ese momento sobre las 7 de la tarde, 7:30, con el sol
Francisco Larrey, the race director, saying
es algo que emociona a todos los
that moment around 7 o'clock in the evening with the sun falling into the sea is something that excites not just the runners, everyone on the island. And the last 3 kilometers along the promenade, it's a magical finish into Santa Eulària.
único, que no hay nada igual en el mundo y que gracias a eso pues
once again, he says we provided something unique for the runners, and we hope more and more come year after year. Really, really important for the island. Well, it's been entertaining, there's been plenty of elation, plenty of exhaustion as well, and overall a huge sense of achievement. The Ibiza Marathon delivering once again in 2023.